I'm number one in Warno. Tmanplays 3 weeks ago. 2.8k views, which is why I'm stealing this idea. And I'm against him on 3rd US Armoured, and we're playing on 2 lakes. This game was played live on stream by myself, so first link in the description if you want to see that. But I figured I'd cast it properly because it's a pretty funny game. So starting with my deployment, I'm opening with 9 M113A3 ACAVs. So what's an ACAV? It is an M113A3 with 50 cal, an M240, M240 is there, and this recoilless rifle, the M40A1 recoilless rifle. Comes with 30-point scouts, and the unit itself's only 35 points. Mediocre stealth, recon forward deployment, good optics. So it's pretty strong. It's pretty strong. And so I'm opening with 9 of those. You could call this an ACAV rush, if you saw yesterday's video. And then behind that, I've got a CV, which is going to go to Charlie and then into Bravo, or at least that's the plan. And then 2 pivads, 2 chaparrals, a supply for the chaparrals, 3 fire team AT4s, and 2 engineers flash, and they're all going in to the town. On the right, I've just got a holding force, so 1 CV and 2 military police M67s just to lock down an area, which these guys are very good at doing with their recoilless rifle that can shoot either infantry or vehicles. Very low accuracy on it, but the range on it is pretty good. Switching over to my opponent's deployment, tmanplays, of course, number 1 Warno player in the Milky Way galaxy. So he's got a Razvedka Saperi going to here in a BTR-60, and for the left he's got 1 CV taking Delta, and then 2 original pancakes. These are Russian anti-tank teams. One's going to here, one's going to here, and then a Saperi RPO, which presumably is, yeah, it's going to here. On the right, he's got a pretty substantial force, so going into Bravo, he's got a Grenza, a Razvedka Saperi. So I believe the Razvedka Saperi is going over here, and the Grenza is going to the church. Religious people can see further than non-religious people. And yeah, I was right. I was in this game, you know. And then he's got a CV going straight for Delta, and then he's gonna Bravo even, and it's gonna end up in here. And then a Cub. Cubs are this kind of broken AA unit, but so are the chaparrals, just broken in a different way. The advantage of the Cub is that it shoots across the entire map. So that's going over to here with a supply for it. And then he's got a Conkers, which presumably... Well, actually, I don't know where it's going. Okay, so yeah, that's going into the church as well, so it can shoot from the church. And TATBV coming down this road. 2 BMP2 motor Strelk. Yeah, I think one's going to here, one's going to here, from what I recall. Okay, one was going to here. And then 3 Igloos, 1 to here, 1 to here, and 1 to here. And then on the far right, he's got 2 more Grenzas. So 1 going to here, 1 going down to here. So what's the plan? My plan is to ACAV rush him and get this game over with as fast as possible. And his plan is to play 39Y, which is a division where I'd say it's the 3rd best division in the game right now, after 5E and 7 Panzer. And that's because their units are really quite cheap and very, very plentiful. So you just spam T80s and BMP2s, and you don't really run out of anything. Well, this division, that's the advantage of 39Y. So it's got a weak early, a strong late. The conventional advantage of 3rd Armoured, excluding this, is kind of the same. So 3rd Armoured's units are more expensive, they're less cost efficient, but they are better. So the M1A1 is very good. The M1A1HA is very good. Price of the M1A1 went up recently, but the price of the T80BB didn't, which is a shame in my eyes. I think the T80B should have gone up. But yeah, that about covers it for the plan, and now let's get on with the game. Right, so they're off, and everybody's going to where we said they were going to go. So let's use the start of the game to zoom in on these lovely ACAVs. these lovely overpowered ACAVs. The volume's a little bit loud. Let me just sort that out right now. So the ACAVs are going, and the idea behind this strategy is to just close the game out in like 10 minutes, win or lose. Because I don't like playing against players who are better than me. I enjoy winning, so I figure the faster I can lose this game, the faster I can go win another game. But our Grenzers praying in the church are about to spot these ACAV if the Razvedka Saperi don't get there before them. And yeah, I had it queued up so that they'd turn on this road, but then that slowed them down a little bit, so my micro could be better there. And you see these beautiful ACAVs. So I buy an Apache rocket because I've got lots of AA, and so the idea is that the Apache is covered by the AA. These Humvees are faster than the ACAVs because they're wheeled, so that's why I manually slowed them down a bit. But this guy I accidentally left behind, it seems. So, you know, not a great play. And then, yeah, the Conquer's Dome's one, and then here we go, there's a T-80B on the roads that can shoot all of these. So that's obviously not fantastic. So, thus ends the ACAV rush. But we're in the zone, and T-Man spent 190 points on this Su-25, which is going to get domed by all this AA now. So that dies. I make a crucial mistake here. I meant to press Y and unload directly on the T-80BV so that they could shoot him with the AT-4s in the back. But instead I press U because my fingers are too fat, because I need to do more exercise. And because of that, they unloaded right in front of him, and he's actually going to survive this, which is crucial. So I knew about these guys over here because I saw somebody unloading here, so I know there's something over here. And then you see T-Man tries to move his BTR down here, but these guys are all recon units, so I do see this happen. Over here, the Apache rocket's doing alright, and yeah, T-Man realizes he can't panic buy air because of the AA, although I have lost one Chaparral, which is a big problem. So Apaches get 20% ECM, but I get hit, but it's not gonna change the Igla's fate. And yeah, I saw this, so I bought another Apache, which was... I suppose I could have moved this one over, but I needed this to hit these guys. These guys are moving through here, and these scouts are not in a great place, to be honest. I should have got them into the town as opposed to trying to walk across this open field. Deploying Eagle because I think he's going to try and kill the Apache with a plane, and then he buys a plane to kill the Apache. So the Eagle should really mess this guy up. So I see the Igla, and once again I get hit by the Igla, but guess I should just get good. And the Eagle takes out that thing because it costs like twice as much, so that's what you'd expect really, 40% ECM. Yeah, so we've managed to take the zone, but crucially this tank has survived, and that really didn't have to happen if I was a bit better at the game and my fingers weren't so fat. Then yeah, I'd do better. And I figure he's going to attack down here now because I'm winning here, so that's the natural progression of things, is that he'll attack down here. So that's why I ping twice here and start spawning units in there, and of course I was correct. Just keep the Eagle loitering so that in case he buys any more panic air. But he's switched up to just regular infantry now. So we're in here, but most of my guys are dead, but we are in here, and I'm a +4. And the Apaches, I'm getting them healed up so I can go deal with this. And yeah, 40% ECM, you'd expect this guy to not get hit by that cup, and indeed he does not, because this has 45% accuracy. The ECM calculation is not linear, it's not 45 minus 40 equals 5, this is multiplicative, but there's a hard cap of 20, so this thing you could see as having an accuracy of 20% against that Eagle. But the advantage of the Cub is that it shoots over the whole map. I think it's too strong for its price and availability. You get 4 in a card, I think that's a bit silly considering how good it is. What I'd really like to see is the fire rate of it come down so that it can't fire 3 missiles at one plane. Fire rate came down a bit, but not really enough. And yeah, the issue with these Apaches is that they're incredibly supply hungry. And that's a problem third has, actually, that you just don't have enough supply to supply your heavy tanks and your helicopters. Particularly if you're running an ACAV rush deck that took out a card of supply. So you see the M67 recoilless rifle, you know, he misses like 3 rounds, but, you know, 30% accuracy. And yeah, he gets them on the 4th. And I've got these guys coming up to here because I'm expecting him to push down here. So yeah, he's bought a bunch of Strellas now, and my healed Apache, I just move it over here, kill the Igloo, which was spotted by the scouts. And then I'm going to kill this Grantor. I don't actually see this until I fly over it, at which point I do see it and I kill it. And yeah, we're getting pushed out of here because I don't really have a lot of units. Lost too much in that initial push, just bad micro, and then I'm buying all these Apaches and I'm sending units over here because I have to. So we're pretty thin on the ground here, and yeah, 39Y gets very cost-efficient units. So this is Saperi. The advantage of the 39Y one is that he comes at 2 vet for free, whereas everybody else's comes at 1 vet. So T-Man buys an SU to try and kill this Apache, but I just land it down here. And I send the Eagle in, and this wasn't very smart, because eventually your luck runs out, so that Cub, yeah, between the Cub and the SU I lose the Eagle, so that really wasn't very smart. I should have just loitered it back here, but what can I say, I'm not the best Warno player in the known universe. So this push kind of stalled out, and yeah, he's trying to hit me with the BMP2s because I was landed. So he was shooting the Conkers, ATGMs at the BMP2s, and I'm just trying to resecure this now because I know that this is basically over. There's really not a whole lot you can do about all these tanks. TATB, really cost-efficient tank now. So yeah, with the Apache, I try and land it, and then that's where this SU-22 comes in. The guns on it will one-pass any helicopter in the game, and then if you land, he tries to bomb you. So I go for the land, wait for him to dive, and then take off, and then I was actually in the air when those bombs landed, and that's why they didn't do anything. And this I thought was behind that house, but it wasn't, so it died. So I could have, well, to be honest, yeah, I could have put it in the smoke that I just deployed. But like I said, I'm really not a very good player. Certainly not the #1 Warno player in the world, so I make a lot of mistakes. And then, yeah, this Apache gets 20% ECM, and then these guys fire 3 rounds and all of them hit. But, you know, I should just play better at the game. And, yeah, I shouldn't have bought that third Apache anyway to begin with. So, and then, yeah, this guy with his 50% accuracy and this 20% ECM gets one shot off and gets a hit. And I've purchased an M1 Abrams with its 65% accuracy, and he misses twice against this Strela, but I guess I'm just bad. I don't know what to say. And then I get a crit here because I'm just really bad at the game. When you're bad at the game, you take the 0.5% chance to get critted, and it becomes 100%. So I really need to just play better. I'm not sure what was going on there. I need to get my head back in the game, otherwise I'm going to lose. So we take these Apaches back here, and over on this side we've got these scouts fighting the Motorstrelky, and you'd expect the Motorstrelky to win because they've got more people, so they will deal more damage. And I actually run out of small arms ammunition, because that's how slow infantry time to kill is now. You just run out of ammo before you kill a guy. And the machine guns don't actually shoot when they're in the same house. So the ACAV obviously gets hit by the RPG, and then, yeah, so the machine gun won't shoot when it's in the same house, and he's still got small arms ammunition. So it's smart for him to move up into that house, that's why he did it. So we're just moving the survivors out of here, because, you know, we've got our 620 point lead, and now it's time to defend. But I left this guy in here, which wasn't very smart, so T-Man just walks forwards with some infantry with a tank behind, you know, and then this guy's not long for this world. And I killed the guys that were in here, but you got to recognize that basically, you know, I know he's coming for this zone, and I know he's got this, and once you lose this, it becomes really hard to hold the zone, and you'll see why later. So I just figured out whenever I own a mortar, I should use it, but, you know, obviously this is probably not going to do anything. Oh, it kills a guy, so it was worth it. Wow. And yeah, that Stinger dies to the BTR 60PB. It's just been fast moved down here. But we've got an ACAV here, so that'll stop that. That'll stop that. So yeah, obviously your accuracy gets better when you get closer. The recoilless rifle's only 35% accuracy at the max range. So we're trying to take this back. So T-Man quite intelligently moving back to try and conserve his forces, unlike a certain somebody that keeps throwing helicopters into their deaths. And he's still trying to push on this side, but yeah, I have an ACAV, so he should be alright. And he's got recon over here to stop me from going around the sides. This map, because of the two lakes, I mean, it's called two lakes, so I can understand. But because of the two lakes, it's actually quite a much narrower map than you might imagine. Obviously, helo-borne stuff can go around the edges, but there's not that much opportunity for tactical flanking play because of how narrow the map is as a result of these watercourses. So I see him moving in here, so I gotta buy some more stuff. So these M150s, it's a tow and 50 cal for 40 points. Mediocre stealth, 2 armor. So it can survive a max range shot from some things. So like an AMX-10 regular with its 16 pen at max range will not kill this. So these can be really useful because of how cheap they are, just for you know, screening, running interference, doing stuff like this. So it looks like the Conkers is a bit faster than the tow, and we lose the ACAV to this tank and this BMP2. And then we get up the Chaparral. Chaparral's pretty broken. And yeah, there you go. It gets it fires 4 shots in rapid succession, 50% accuracy, so you'd expect 55% accuracy, so you'd expect 2 hits, and 2 hits it gets. Over here, there's no AA, so here comes the AA, and yeah, just gonna clean these guys out while we can. But then T-Man buys an SU-25 for this scout. But I've got a Stinger and a Chaparral here, but the Chaparral sort of out of position. It's behind these buildings, so it can't really shoot very well. And the Stinger misses because he's bad. And then the Chaparral gets 2 hits out of 4 missiles, which is what you'd expect, but because the SU's armoured, doesn't kill it, even though it's got 10 HP, and this deals 6 damage. Because it's armoured, you would need 3 hits to kill that. So that guy actually gets out again. And yeah, I'm surprised that T-Man brings the Mi-24V instead of the cheaper one, which has bigger rockets. And these guys are deployed down the wrong road, and now they're going to die in the open. So that wasn't very intelligent. And he's pushing me here, but this is my resupply. Like, my resupply's right there. So it's kind of hard for him to push that when his resupply's all the way back there. So I assumed that this was just a distraction, and that he was going to attack in here. So I just keep reinforcing this, and I've only got a token force here, like this one tank, which was originally destined for Bravo and ended up here. So yeah, I think this is a suitable force. I mean, could use a bit more infantry really, because the infantry in the open here died. So yeah, we've got an engineer as a scout. And here we go again with the dive bomber. And this time I've got 4 Stingers and a Chaparral. Chaparral's out of ammo, so between the 4 Stingers they get 2 hits and it dies. So I figured he's overextended the range of his AA here. This thing fires 4 missiles in a volley, and like I said, you need 3 hits to kill these armoured things. And so because it's only got 50% accuracy, you'd only expect 2 hits. And the Warthog has ECM. But clearly I'm a very bad player because he gets 3 hits there. What can you do? I guess I just need to get good. And over here I've got the Stinger to try and shoot this guy. and he shoots twice and hits twice, so 60% accuracy. You know, sometimes things go your way and sometimes they don't. And yeah, engineers are my version of the saperi, and they deal the same thing, deal the same damage. So I've got to watch out for this AT guy, and I'm just, you know, I don't really know where he is, but mortar rounds are practically free. Well, not really actually. They're quite expensive. That's 2 supply trucks for 115 rounds. So the pivot's pretty cheap for what it is, but it doesn't really kill people. It just sort of scares them away. Like, you see how much he fired there, and it didn't even take off 1 pip of HP. So it's more for scaring people away, and it's half the price of the chaparral, so that's why. But if this chaparral had been there, that guy'd be dead. So that was my fault for not having that up there. So as I correctly predicted, he's obviously not going to get anywhere here because this is my resupply. He's just trying to force me to buy loads of units, and indeed I've bought like 1,000 points of units for this, and that allows him to build up here. So I know this is coming, and that's why I'm trying to build up my own force. Got to be careful with these Apaches, and yeah, here come the mortars for the smoke. So yeah, he's quite happy to sit here, and you see that his force, like all this, costs a little bit less than all this, and so that was his plan to just, well, I can only assume. Well, I assume that was his plan to just force me to invest over here while he pushes over here. Over here I had these 2 supply trucks, and this guy killed one and this guy killed the other. They're 55% accuracy and they're 45% accuracy. They got 2 hits. But you know, sometimes you just shouldn't have your supply truck there. You should have it back here, and then nobody will shoot at it. So we're moving the ACAV up to try and spot, because I obviously I've pinged this because I know there's somebody there now, and that's just a T8. So it's T80B. The advantage of the pack tanks is that they get these ATGMs with very large range, and that means in these open fights it's quite difficult to hit the Abrams. It's quite difficult for the Abrams to shoot back in an open field because the other guy's going to get an ATGM off on you, and if that hits, then he's got his 10 fire rate. So between the 2 of them, the Abrams would struggle to attack into this, but the T80B, obviously because the ATGM won't be firing if he's on the move, that would struggle to attack into this. So that's the difference. And so yeah, here we go. T-Man's trying to take this so that he can use the super cool smoke mortar strat where you just smoke all this and drive CV in. I never do anything like that, so I do find it a bit dishonorable. And yeah, I moved this Pivads up to fight that AT guy. And you see, yeah, he doesn't really do anything, but once he stuns them, then they can't get out because they just start spinning. But sometimes they spin below the tree line, the Pivads can't shoot them anymore. But yeah, the helicopter route mechanics are really weird, like the spinning thing. Like, so you see there, he span correctly. He span out of the line of sight, and that saved him, and you know, it's just a bit weird. So yeah, T-Man uses the Su-22 again to just snipe the helicopter in one pass, and between these 3 stingers and this chaparral, he gets out. So, 4 stingers. So that's obviously not fantastic. And this guy shouldn't really be fighting against 2 original pancakes because he will lose that. So they're all low cohesion. And, you know, you'd expect this to miss. And then he gets a crit and I die. So I wouldn't have actually died if I didn't get that spalling crit. But that's what happens when you play against the ranked one in the game. You just get 0.5% crits all the time. So here we go. So he's smoking so that he can drive a CV in. CV's coming. And so the only way to fight this... The reason this strat is so strong is because you can only see 50 meters in smoke. And 50 meters in this game is basically nothing. If you see that inner circle, it's that, basically. So you put the CV in, and then you just drive it around in circles. So I hit that from both sides, and then I get a 0.5% crit chance and my engine gets destroyed. So clearly I'm just a really, really bad player. I'm not sure why I'm so bad at the game. Just keep getting all these crits. I'm not sure why I choose to take all these crits today. But yeah, I guess I'm just bad. So yeah, now he can't get out because his engine's destroyed, which means that he just can't move. So he's dead, basically. Unless you get a supply to him, but I don't, my supply's out. So clearly I just need to get good. Over on this side, the Pivads showed up here, and then this thing just killed it. Unless this guy's full ammo. Oh no, actually, there's got supply here. So if this thing didn't kill it, this thing killed it. Though this guy's missing 2 Cocons and some missiles. So I don't know how much AA is here. So I send this forwards to kill a couple things, and then I evac it before it can take too much AA fire. And yeah, he gets out because it's just Iglas. So now he buys a Cub, and that's a bit more difficult to deal with. And here we go, so he's going to drive the CV into the smoke. And I'm waiting for him. And he dies. So that's really the only way to counter this strat, because you see, because of how wide the smoke is, and he does this on purpose, because the vision is only 50 meters, he can just drive this round in circles in here, and I would honestly never find it, no matter how much infantry I put in. So that's why he does that. Now, what's the counter? The counter is to run infantry in and just try and find him, just run it around and just search it like it's Minesweeper. But then he puts his own infantry in there. So it's a really broken strat. The other way of countering it, but this takes a lot longer, is to kill these artillery pieces. But because I have an ACAV rush deck, I took the artillery out of my deck, so all I have is these mortars. And the mortar will not counter battery this. Just the dispersion is too large. Like, there's no point in even trying. So so yeah, that's that really. But we got the CV because he drove into the smoke, and I had my infantry in there. And it's pretty difficult to push this up because, well, as you can see, there's a T80B there. You try and get a side shot, but when tanks are on high cohesion, they turn really fast. And that means that so he was facing this way, but in the time it took me to aim, he'd turned. So now this time he's doing the same thing again, but he'll put some infantry inside. And this guy gets stunned up by the tank. This guy's probably not getting out of here either. And this guy survives because I think he misses with his demo charges. Smokes with his BMP2 to save it from the tow. And yeah, I'm forced to keep running into this smoke, so what does he do? He just stops shooting. And then all these guys are going to get caught out in the open when this smoke fades. Over on this side, he's not paying attention to this, so I just move up and kill it all. So that's like a couple AA pieces and a T80. So we're here, and yeah, so he stops shooting the smoke, and all my infantry are in the open. This is my last Apache on the field. I had 3 on the field. I lost 1 to AA here. I lost 1 to a plane just flying over all my stingers here. And I think he's going for this one. So yeah, the smoke fades and then they all die. So yeah, it's difficult strat to counter. So yeah, this guy flies into 4 stingers and a chaparral, and this time he doesn't make it out. But this Apache's got good cover on these guys because this Strela isn't moved up yet. So 2,800 meters on the Apache, 2,825 on the Strela. So I move this guy forwards, which wasn't smart, and then I take an Igla hit, and then I take a second Igla hit, and then yeah, as I'm going down, this guy hits me. So that was a bit silly. I should have pulled him back straight away. And yeah, so now that all my infantry's died, the smoke starts again so that he can do the same thing again. CV will be coming, presumably. So yeah, once I killed his CV, so it's tough, right? Because if you don't stay in the smoke, he puts the CV in. So I guess I should have noticed that he wasn't re-smoking it anymore. That's pretty hard to do. And then now he's got a Cub here. So the Cub hits and then the Strela hits and we lose this guy. And yeah, there's quite a bit of AA here now. The Cub wasn't here before, so that's why I did that. And on this side, I'm like, well, shit, I'm going to lose here now because I just lost all my infantry, and he's just going to do the smoke thing again. So I've managed to push him out here, and I'm going to try and move up in this area. And yeah, this just keeps going on. So I shouldn't have taken the howitzers out of my deck, but I was expecting a 10-minute game. And so he can just keep doing this until he runs out of ammo, and then he resupplies it, and then he does it all over again. And then on this side, so I try and get this guy to get a cheeky shot off, but what happened there was right at the last second he decided he wanted to shoot something else and retargeted, so he doesn't actually shoot. So now I just got to get him out of there. But the Strela ends up dying anyway because of that line of sight there. And yeah, I've just ran out of infantry because I sent it into the smoke, as we spoke about, and then on my way out I died to that T-80B. So I guess I should have left him here, but then if I try and reverse this way, this guy shoots me. So he was basically just dead no matter what, I guess. I guess I could have smoked him and moved him back. And then, yeah, he's being too frivolous with his helicopters. He knows I've got a bunch of stingers over here, but he loses that one as well. And over here he had a T-80B here, and now he doesn't. And we're just moving the Abrams up. And they don't have AA with them. So here you go, Su-22M4's back again. And this dive bomber is really good at killing tanks. And he dodges all the stingers and gets out. So that was my fault. The Chaparral only had 1 round. If it had had 4, this guy'd probably be dead. Just didn't realise this supply was empty. So that's my fault on that. And yeah, on this side, this motor Strelk can not survive all these tanks. He does get a shot off on this guy, I think, on the front armor. But the front armor's quite big. So I'm trying to reinforce here, but third armor does not get a lot of infantry, particularly if you deliberately bring less infantry so that you can spam ACAVs. So I'm really suffering from my actions here. And here we go, he's going to smoke again, and he's going to drive the CV in again. And I can't do anything about this. Can't kill him with air because the cupboard killed me. Can't kill him with artillery because I've just got mortars. So yeah, you can just afford to do this. If I'd had a howitzer in my deck, because these guys don't have their cars anymore, I could have really slowed this down. I mean, I probably couldn't have stopped it, because you get 4 in a card, so you just buy 2 more. But you can at least slow it down and force him to think about things. So he does the exact same thing again. And this time I don't have sufficient fire team 84 to run in here anymore, and he's put his infantry in it this time. These guys are trying to hit that T-80B, and they're not doing so well. You know, they've got 1 round left each, and looks like they've hit him twice. T-80B kills my Bradley with my AT4s that I'm moving up to sort this out. So you see he just expands the smoke field so that he can start driving this guy around in circles, so I lose both the Bradleys there. These guys really letting the side down with their 12 dragons. And as you can see, I just can't see him. Like, I'm right here, but you gotta canvas it all. And he could be anywhere. Run into that T-80B and die. And then he just moves it into this corner. So the engineers will kill the Strelk, but now I don't have AT infantry to kill this. So even if the engineers find this, they can't kill this. This guy can't get in there. These guys are out of ammo and they're to get the minimum range anyway. So I recognise that I'm stuffed and I need to push over here now. So I assume there wouldn't be that much AA over here, and I was right. He's just got 1 Strela. And I use this to try and kill that. And I get a hit, but I don't kill it. So yeah, I just can't see his CV. It's a really cool way of playing the game, but I do this all the time as well, so I mean, you can't get upset really. Just keeping this guy around so I can try and find enemies, but I don't see any enemies. And yeah, now we're at even Stevens again, and I just can't get to the CV because so as soon as I get close to it, he just drives it away. Right, and then, you know, how am I supposed to know where it is when I can only see 50 meters? And even when I find it, this is just an engineer's flash, so he can't even kill it. So, yeah, he's managed to break through this now. Just because when I lost that infantry there, that's when this started to turn sour. And since then, you know, he's just got a massive force superiority over me. And, yeah, I'm trying to move the AT4s up, but this is very much lost, so 9 minutes left and he's +2. I'm trying to find the CV here. And yeah, we find it, and then yeah, the tanks shoot at the BMP2, and then he just drives it away into the next bunch of trees. Strelk gets 2 hits off on this from 4, which is what you'd expect, and so this guy's got to get out of here because he's got the armor, he survives. So he's still +2 with 9 minutes left, so I really need to try and kill this CV or I'm going to lose the game. But there's no way I'm getting back in here. I just took too many bad trades, so I'm trying to get these guys out of here, but without recon I can't even see these, I'm just dying. So yeah, they'll die. So send over these recons to try and find this this guy. So from these 4 rounds you'd expect 2 hits, and there you go, he gets his 2 hits. And then we get the engineers over here and get them to attack this, and because satchels can damage this now, but I don't get there in time, and then I get stunned up, and so he just drives it into the next tree line. So send over the Apache. He sends a recon heli here, but the Chaparral's back here, and I've brought up some Bradleys here. So the Apache's got 20% ECM, as we spoke about, so you'd expect it to not get hit more than once, and this time that actually works out. So between the Apache and the Thunderbolt misses, and then it hits, and we hit that BMP2 as well. But then these guys are too far ahead of the AA, and I don't evac this guy. And then here comes that Su-22 again. Hit that with the missile, but he's still shooting on his evac, and obviously the fighter's behind, so he gets that. And then my Eagle's off repair now. Chaparral and Eagle combo will kill this, but the Su-22 gets out. And those things have been a thorn in my neck the whole game. So now we're back to even Stevens again with 7 minutes left. But he is in this zone. So try and get this guy out of here before another suicidal plane comes and one passes him. And yeah, I was playing it on stream, so the reason why I highlighted this is because I knew that he would attack down here. I mean, not only do I have vision on the second half, but I knew beforehand because, well, I know that he's just taken this zone, so he's got loads of units here. And so what is he going to do? He's going to send them over to here. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's really not rocket science. Need to try and heal this guy, but I'm suffering from a supply shortage now. I've got the Huey supplies still. And then you'd expect the Bradley to win this, because it costs a lot more. And it does win it. But obviously it's not going to beat all these guys. This guy gets spotted by that motor Strelky, I guess. He wasn't actually shooting. So he's going to go down. And here we go. CV now bought for this. And yeah, this Apache's still got rockets, so he can do something. It's not the ATGM one, because I lost both of the ATGM ones over here, if you recall. And yeah, Fireteam 84 gets him on the side, but as I said, because it takes 2 seconds to aim, he just turns and then, and then it doesn't do anything, and then he dies. So not great. And we've got some tanks in here. So he just sends a suicidal fighter for the Apache and kills it. He'll lose the fighter, but it doesn't matter. He gets way more fighters than I get Apaches. And yeah, that's just a problem you've got when you use the Apaches. So Third Armored doesn't get... I mean, the Chaparral is too strong. Don't get me wrong. This thing's broken. But Third Armored does not get super long-range AA. And so... you cannot intercept the plane before it comes and kills your Apache, so they just slam themselves into it. Over here, you'd sort of expect me to win this. And this Fireteam 84, sadly, he used his RPG on this guy instead of this. So I gunrun this guy, but it only kills 2. The Vulcan cannon, nowhere near as good as those 30mm dual guns on the Su-22 or on any of the French variants. The Deffer that comes on the Jaguar and the Mirages. The Vulcan's a bit kind of pants in this game. I'm not sure why, because I've been told it's very good in real life, but I'm not in the military, so I wouldn't know. never shot a Vulcan cannon at anybody. So I get more accuracy than him, but for some reason I hit one, miss one, and he shoots two, hits two, and so I lose that fight as well. So I just need to play the game a bit better, I guess. And yeah, he's just got massive force superiority over here. So these guys are just getting messed up now. They need to retreat into the town, but that means that I can't stop the Saperi. This guy's got to evac eventually, and he just runs out of fuel. And 4 minutes left. I've got a lead, but he's bringing the CV in for a +2. And I've ran out of infantry a long time ago, so now I'm spamming like Itos and stuff. Got one Apache left, and I'm starting to buy the HAs because I've run out of regular M1A1s. The M1A1 trades relatively favourably against the T80BV. But the... Well, no, that's not true. The M1A1 trades favourably against the T80B. This. But the M1A1HA trades favourably against the T80BV, which is this. It obviously costs 100 points more, so you'd expect it to, but the fact that it gets 21 pen on the gun and 20 front armour means that it really does chomp through these things. So he gets the CV in, and I know where it is, but, you know, what can I do about it? Everybody's dead. And, yeah, these don't get great accuracy on the faggots, so that's why that missed. And this does get good accuracy. So I just suicide the Apache in, because I figure, you know, it's an infantry guy on 2 HP. I should be able to kill him. First volley goes on the wrong guy. But yeah, we get him, and then I need to get this guy out of here, but I don't. I just leave him there, which wasn't very intelligent. Thing is, he's got bad rear armor, so if you go to retreat, then you die. And here comes the suicidal plane attack again. And yeah, that just cleans that out, no problem. He does die, but like I said, it doesn't matter. He gets way more planes than I get Apaches. That is a big problem with the game right now, but it's something I also abuse. So he's bringing up the motor Strelky, so I gotta get this CV all the way back. And this guy's out of ammo, so I can't even smoke the CV up. So, just trying to point blank this motor Strelky, and because I have 20 front armor, he's only dealing like 1 damage with each hit on my front armor. He's aiming for this, but he's low cohesion, so he doesn't get it. And so he's sending this round to also shoot that. And I've got an Eagle on standby for the next suicidal fighter. So this guy will kill that, no problem. And then you'll see how well the HA trades into T80Bs and BVs now. So that guy's now on 2 HP. Somehow he still has high cohesion despite almost being dead. But yeah, you see that, you know, this guy basically 2-shots all of these. So this T80B gets a line on that and kills it. I'm trying to reverse, but he's hitting me from multiple angles here. But and then he misses, but 60% accuracy, you'd expect him to miss eventually. And then that's a side shot somehow, or I guess because of the distances it's a front shot. So he gets back in there, and he's now going to be on a +4. But there's only 50 seconds left. So you get a tick for every 1.5 seconds. So call it 35. 35 times 4 is 140 points. And I'm more than 130 points ahead. So he's trying to drive this guy around here to secure this, because that'll really be the only way that he can win. And yeah, he's just not going to make it in time, basically. Spoilers, like this guy's trying to come down here as well, but there's just not enough time. I managed to hold on to this for long enough with that clutch Apache suicide and so on. So yeah, that's GG. So now that I've defeated the #1 Warno player in the universe, I guess that makes me the #1 Warno player in the universe. In all of England. So really bad KD, but that's what you'd expect. And yeah, you see, the ACAVs didn't actually kill that much. It was just about taking that ground at the start. And then as the game went on, I just made more and more mistakes. Too frivolous with my units. I made lots of mistakes like getting engine destroyed crit, getting spalling crit, just missing a lot. And you see that T80B at the start, BV at the start, just killed all the ACAVs, him and the Conkers together. So yeah, pretty funny game. And as I said, I played it live on stream, so now you know why I'm casting it, because I beat somebody better than me, so why wouldn't I cast that game? And yeah, tmanplays also has a YouTube channel, but I highly doubt that you'll find this game on that one because I won, so obviously it's going to show up on my channel. That's just the way things are. So I'll see you around.